Welcome back my channel. In a small suburban town, tucked between two rusted drawers and a forgotten shoebox, a collector leafed through rolls of coins he had nearly given up on. The Roosevelt dimes were all too familiar, copper-nickel cladding. The profile of the 32nd President of the United States staring forward with stoic resolve, flanked by the bold inscription of liberty and the quiet mantra, "In God we trust." He had seen thousands, perhaps tens of thousands. But this time, something caught his breath. It was the year 1975. Everything looked normal at first. The obverse, clean. Roosevelt's hairlines were clearly defined. The reverse, crisp. The torch flanked by olive and oak branches stood strong, with the words United States of America arched above and one dime below. But then came the realization. There was no mint mark. And more importantly, no sign of what should have been there. An S. Not because San Francisco was expected to strike 1 billion dimes that year, it wasn't, but because of something else. A hidden gap in the historical record. 1975 had been a preparatory year. The U.S. Mint was on the brink of the bicentennial celebrations. In a rare move, the Mint had suspended production of quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins dated 1975. Instead, all such coins struck in that year bore the dual date, 1776 to 1976. But the Roosevelt dime, small, often overlooked, continued its 1975 issue. No fanfare, no redesign, just continuity in the face of national change. The San Francisco Mint, known for its proof coin production, struck hundreds of thousands of 1975 dimes intended solely for collectors. These were never supposed to enter circulation. Each one bore a tiny S mint mark, each one sealed in mirrored plastic, protected from the wear and touch of time. Every 1975 Roosevelt dime from San Francisco proof sets had an S. That was a certainty, until it wasn't. In his hand, the collector turned the dime again, puzzled. It had the unmistakable shine and smoothness of a proof coin. Frosted devices, mirror-like fields. But where the S should have been? Nothing. Just blank space. His mind tried to rationalize it. Was it worn away? Tampered with? But there were no signs of abrasion, no scarring. The surface was untouched. It was unmistakably a genuine proof dime, without a mint mark. He checked the edge, reeded and even. The weight, exact. The design details, sharp and pristine. It matched the specifications of a proof coin, yet it defied protocol. He held in his palm what should not have existed. Panic and exhilaration swirled. He'd been collecting coins for over a decade. He knew what this might be. Still, he needed confirmation. He sent it to a third-party grading service, the industry's final authority. Weeks passed. When the coin returned, it came encased in a crystal-clear slab, sealed with a label that read, 1975 No S, Roosevelt dime, PR 68. Missing mint mark. The No S. For seasoned collectors, those two letters, No S, carry legend. They're not just absent. They're anomalies. Every once in a generation, a proof coin meant for collectors, made in San Francisco, escapes without its identifying mark. In 1968, a proof Roosevelt dime missed the mint mark. It happened again in 1970 and 1983. But the 1975 No S Roosevelt dime? This was the ghost story of the numismatic world. Most had never seen one. Some believed only two existed. He had found the third. News traveled fast in collecting circles. Rumors reawakened. Forums buzzed. People wondered. Had the Mint overlooked another? Was it part of a test strike? A rogue die? Or had a San Francisco worker, for just a moment, forgotten the mint mark punch during setup? No one knew for sure. But one thing was certain, this coin was not an error of wear or tampering. It was a product of omission at the source, a mistake sealed into numismatic history by oversight, not manipulation. As the truth of the discovery grew, so did the coin's value. In the 2000s, one of the known examples sold at auction for over $300,000. The other, held in a private collection, hadn't seen daylight in years. And now there was a third. Offers came in $75,000, $90,000, six figures. But the collector hesitated. This wasn't just a coin. It was a key. A flaw so rare it rewrote a page of minting history. While ordinary 1975 dimes were worth 10 cents, maybe $1 in pristine uncirculated condition, This one belonged to a class of modern rarities that rivaled centuries-old silver dollars and gold eagles in sheer myth. Experts examined it again. There was something more. The coin, under spectral lighting and high-resolution scanning, showed signs that suggested it had been part of a very early batch, possibly one of the first struck before the mint mark was applied to the die. A test? A setup? A moment in the mint's timeline where haste or human error broke through the mechanical rhythm. And then came the twist.an internal document, quietly declassified and shared among numismatic researchers, revealed that in 1975, during a brief 2-day period, the San Francisco Mint ran a pre-production check of proof coin dies. During that time, 3 dimes were logged as test strikes without mint marks, meant to be destroyed after inspection. But only 2 were documented as retrieved and melted down. The third? Its entry ends with a question mark. A literal question mark written in pen, smudged by time, as if someone, somewhere, had left the line unfinished. The collector's dime completed that line. He brought the coin to a major show, under tight glass, surrounded by curious eyes and hushed voices. It was no longer just a missing mark. It was the artifact that closed a loop in minting history. And yet, the final irony remained. A coin that had never meant to circulate, never meant to be touched, was now the most touched, studied, and sought-after dime in the modern collecting world. Its value now? Unclear, unnamed. It doesn't trade. It's not listed in price guides. It lives outside the charts in a tier all its own. Not because of its age or material or face value, but because of what it represents. A fleeting moment where precision faltered, and a machine-made world let something truly human slip through. It was just another day for James. A quiet afternoon sorting through rolls of coins he picked up from the bank. He'd been collecting since he was a kid. Flipping through pocket change with the patience of a detective scanning crime scene photos. Most days, nothing turned up. But today, something caught his eye. The date was clear, 1995. The mint mark sat just below it. A tiny D indicating this dime had been struck in Denver. At first glance, it looked like any other Roosevelt dime. Same profile, same fasces on the reverse. But something about the way the light hit the edge made him pause. He picked it up, squinted closer. There was something off, not scratched or worn. No, this was different. A subtle distortion in the design. The numerals on the date seemed stretched, like they were trying to climb out of the coin itself. The lettering around the rim felt uneven. James flipped it over again and again. Heart beginning to beat a little faster. He reached for his loop. The kind serious collectors carry like a badge of honor. As he examined each detail under magnification, a chill crept down his spine. This wasn't just a regular error coin. It was something more. Back in 1995, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of dimes every month. The Roosevelt design, introduced in 1946, had become a staple of American currency. Each dime was stamped with precision, part of a long tradition of quality control. But even the most advanced systems can falter. Somewhere inside the Denver Mint that year, during one of its production runs, a misalignment occurred. A die, the engraved stamp used to press the image onto blank planchets, shifted slightly, just enough to create a ghostly double impression on certain coins. Most went unnoticed, lost in circulation. But a very few, bore the unmistakable mark of an off-center strike, combined with a partial doubling effect. James knew what he was looking at now. A 1995 D-double-die obverse dime, one of the rarest modern errors in U.S. numismatic history. But how rare? He reached for his phone, fingers trembling slightly as he typed keywords into a collector's forum. Scrolling through pages of posts, he found whispers of such a coin. One thread mentioned a similar piece sold at auction for nearly $20,000. Another user claimed only 3 had ever been authenticated by GCGS. His breath caught. Could this be one of them? Over the next few weeks, James followed a trail of clues. He sent high-resolution images to a grading service, waited anxiously for confirmation. The response came back with a single line. Authentic error, double die obverse, limited population. Suddenly, that ordinary dime sitting on his desk was anything but. What had once been worth tens was now potentially worth thousands. maybe tens of thousands. And yet, there was something deeper here. Something beyond value. It was the story behind the coin. The moment when metal met machine in a way no one intended. A slip in time, captured forever in silver and copper that spread through the collector community. Interest grew. Some questioned the rarity. Others scoured their collections, hoping to find a twin. But none emerged. The 1995 D-Double remained elusive. Then came the twist. During a routine catalog update, a researcher stumbled upon a forgotten mint log from 1995. It detailed a minor malfunction in one of the Denver Mint's presses on April 17th, the exact date when this particular batch of dimes was struck. The log described how a technician had adjusted the obverse die mid-run, causing a brief significant misalignment before the error was corrected. This wasn't just an accident, it was a window into the inner workings of the mint itself. A mechanical hiccup preserved in clarity on a tiny canvas of metal. And then came the revelation, a second example of the 1995 D-Double die surfaced. Not in the hands of a collector, but in the archives of a retired employee. Stored away for decades, it had never entered circulation. Graded MS-67, it was pristine. When it finally hit the auction block, bidding exploded past all expectations. $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, final hammer price. $89,000. That number echoed through the numismatic world like thunder. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know more. Was there a third? Could one still be hiding in plain sight? The mystery deepened, drawing new collectors into the chase. James watched it all unfold, quietly holding onto his own dime. Not because he needed the money, but because he understood what many didn't. This wasn't just a coin. It was a moment, a glitch in the system that defied odds. A whisper from the past that refused to stay silent, and somewhere, buried in the folds of a wallet rattling around in a jar of loose change, there might still be another waiting to be found. All it would take is someone with sharp eyes, steady hands, and the patience to look a little closer. Because sometimes the most valuable treasures aren't hidden in vaults or museums. Sometimes they're hiding in your pocket.